Are you ready now?
Sure.
All right, what's our intro?
Let's get ready.
Okay, give me that. Welcome to Faith-Filled Nerds, where two happily married nerds explore Christian symbolism, iconography, and theology within various fandoms.
We pit them against the source and see how accurate or inaccurate they are.
I'm John Mark.
And I'm Michelle, and we are looking at Jim Carrey's Bruce Almighty. From 2003, because we all know the 90s didn't end until 2005.
All right, so this was a movie I saw quite a while ago.
I have whiplash, actually.
Really?
Yeah, because we just watched Constantine.
Yeah.
And that movie's so gritty and dark, and then you watch this movie, and it's just like, hits you over the head with its silliness, honestly.
Well, it was a Jim Carrey movie.
I have not seen a lot of Jim Carrey movies, because I have an important announcement about me as a person.
Huh?
I don't like early Jim Carrey movies.
Yeah.
I think The Mask is probably still pretty funny. I haven't seen it in a while, so I can't say.
Did you like Liar Liar?
I did not like Liar Liar.
Okay.
I haven't seen Liar Liar in a long time, but as a child I didn't like Liar Liar. 2003 I was.
Yeah. I was, when that movie came, actually when then 2003, I was on my sophomore year. No, junior
14?
year. Junior year of high school.
Oh, whatever year I was in doesn't matter. I was homeschooled. No one knows what year you're in when you're homeschooled. Anyway,
so yeah, this was a movie this did not age well.
No, it really didn't.
It was a lot. It wasn't as funny as I remember it.
Jim Carrey's not that funny.
Yeah.
I was just like cringing. I think we skipped.
We did. We skipped two big scenes.
We could not handle like the second.
Well, the one where he does the free. Well, we'll get there.
Yeah. I mean, are we gonna sit here and explain the whole movie? Because there was a part of it I think I checked out.
Oh, I remember most of it.
Okay, that's good. Because I was like, well, we all know that he figures this out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's a terrible person, Bruce Almighty.
Oh, yeah.
He tries to be nice early on when he tries to defend the homeless guy.
Yeah, well, like I said, we'll get into his character because, yeah, there's some problems with
angry.
That. So this was a movie. The thing I remember about this movie is the controversy pot that this stirred up. Now, you remember a slightly different controversy.
He produced this, so I can say Jim Carrey's Bruce Almighty.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking at cast stuff.
So when this movie was announced, when the trailer came out.
Yeah.
The day that trailer dropped, you could just hear off in the distance all of these conservative Christian groups just, revving up their pitchforks, getting their torches ready, because they were primed for outrage. Because it's a movie, it's a comedy where Jim Carrey gets the powers of God. Not a god, God.
But only in the Buffalo area.
Yeah. And then the movie came out, and I'll be honest with you, like, after seeing it again, I'm feeling like a lot of expectations were so low that was a pretty low bar to clear. But a lot of these conservative Christian radio shows, magazines, this was the early 2000s before everything got like ridiculously polarized. A lot of these different groups were like, well, there's definitely some problems, but
yeah, like the God stuff was pretty okay. Like the faith and all of that, like the lessons and all that were pretty good.
I just remember.
I remember the controversy, but I can't find any evidence for it, so I think I just heard it secondhand.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to talk about it. But it did get banned in Egypt due to portraying God as a visually ordinary man.
Ah, yes.
They didn't like that he was, like, normal, I guess. I don't know, we're just making the image of him, but whatever.
Yeah.
Jesus, hello.
Yeah.
Can't get much more ordinary than Jesus.
Actually, that was something I wanted to talk about.
Described, like, as not being, like, exceptionally anything. Jesus, he's very ordinary. in appearance, I thought.
I don't think they really describe him at all. Like, that wasn't the...
I feel like there's something.
I mean, maybe some of the extra biblical stuff, but...
I don't know. The extras.
I even remember reading... In fact, the only reason I ended up watching the movie, or maybe it was my parents let me watch the movie, is because an article that Christianity Today put out saying that... Basically, the article was like, okay, so Hollywood actually got some things right.
Yeah.
And they were, like, super shocked at that.
I mean, after watching Constantine and everything that was wrong, so wrong, like, you cannot watch that film with a theological hat on because it hurts.
It does. It, like I said...
Like, you're like, oh no! And then you have Bruce Almighty, which is like, okay, yeah. Morgan Freeman as God, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I could see that.
His words, his advice, his comfort, the comfort he brings is kind of astounding.
Oh, yes.
He carries that movie, because that movie does not stand on its own with just Jim Carrey. Because Jim Carrey's face, what's wrong? I have a hard time looking at his face.
Yeah, well, because he's a very...
I know.
His particular comedy style is...
But it's not my thing.
Yeah, I get you.
Now, Jennifer Aniston is adorable.
Yes.
She is so cute. I forgot how adorable that woman is, but she is so cute. And I forgot Steve Carell was in this until I saw him, and I was like, oh yeah, he's in that.
Yeah, the thing about Jennifer Aniston is...
She's cute.
She played... I can't remember all the roles she plays, but...
She makes these faces, and you just feel bad for her.
She also plays a pretty good mean person.
Does she?
Yeah,
I can hardly see that, because she was so cute in this
She's
movie.
got a pretty good range.
I think she does. Yeah, you're probably right. I feel like I've seen her in other stuff.
So let's get...
She was in a lot of stuff in the 90s to
she was
mid
a big...
2000s.
Yeah, big
when
during
you look
those
at
times.
the early 2000 movies, they're very 90s still. That's
Yes.
why I say that the 90s didn't end until 2005.
No,
because
they
a
did
lot
not.
of the 90s feel really carried into the early 2000s.
Well, that's
probably common.
Yeah, that's
I
usually...
can't think of what is the 2010s. Like, what is their thing?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm off subject. Let's talk about the plot of this movie.
So we start off with...
What's the main character's name again?
Bruce.
Oh, yeah!
Jeez Louise.
I'm kidding. Kidding. His name is Bruce Nolan. I have the cast list right here.
Yeah, so,
I can look at this anytime and call out anybody I want to.
So we've got we start off with our main character, Bruce Nolan, who is a local TV reporter.
Yes.
And he is in the middle of doing a fluff piece for a local bakery.
This was cute. Let's see.
That is trying to bake the... set a world record for the largest cookie.
Yeah.
And...
I think this is some of the funny... This is actually a funny scene. To me.
Yeah?
This one was okay. I wasn't rolling on the floor laughing, but he was over the top, but he wasn't like, why is half your face leaving the screen over the face? Over the top.
Yeah.
So, it was just he was making little cute jabs that weren't totally mean, they were just cute, you know?
Yeah,
and then so he's having to retake because it's hard to be a reporter and get all the takes you need to take. And he does this scene, and then he goes back, and it's this scene versus the other reporters thing that's kind of going head to head to see who gets the new anchor ship, because is that the word?
Yeah,
is anchor ship a word?
I don't think so.
And
yeah,
it's a word now. So there's a guy retiring, and they both want this.
Yeah, him and this guy named Evan
Baxter.
Yep, who is the star of the sequel.
Yes, was played by Steve Carell.
Steve Carell, yes.
Carell.
Yep.
It says Carell here.
It
does not. It says Carell, but I have never said his full name in my life, which is stupid because I actually like him. He's okay. I like some of his stuff. Look.
His stuff where he is a supporting character is pretty good.
No, he's fine.
Anyways.
He's better than Jim Carrey.
Sure.
I will burn on this hill. Burn on it? Die on this hill? I'm burning now.
What's
I don't know what's I've been smited.
Okay.
Anyway, so what is happening? It's here's this little fluff piece about this bakery baking this cookie versus a sex scandal that the other guy got to make a piece about. Which one are they going to run? I wonder.
Yeah.
I was there was no contest. What was he supposed to... Bruce got screwed.
Yeah, during Sweeps Week, no less, which I actually don't know what...
Is that voting?
I don't know. I think it's when like different news channels.
Sweep. Okay, so answered on February 1st, 2018, Sweeps Week was 1 week out of 4 consecutive weeks in which TV viewers or listening, in the case of radio, recorded their viewing habits by start and stop times, program names, station calls, letters, and channel numbers. Sweeps occurred in February, May, July. It's when they were figuring out
the ratings.
The ratings.
Okay.
So, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so they're doing, it's during the Sweeps Week, and so Evan gets the story, and he's kind of upset about that.
This is the only scene we see this character, Evan, be mean, by the way. He is teasing Bruce.
Well, no, technically we see him in 2 scenes being mean, because what he does later is
I don't remember.
Straight, we'll get there.
I don't remember. Was this one of the times when I got distracted by my phone?
Probably.
Okay.
So,
I paid attention 100%, everybody.
So he's making fun of him at the meeting, and then so Bruce wants a shot at doing something bigger.
Yeah.
So his boss is like, all right, tell you what, I'll let you do a live piece at Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
This is like your chance to show how you do.
He's never live. And I like how he was like, I like how they're trying to establish that Bruce is a nice guy.
Yes.
They established this early on. Bruce, you're too nice, they keep saying. Bruce, because he's nice, he's funny. That's what they like him doing the fluff pieces, because he's funny. He does little gags. He has little things he says. So, like, the boss is like, you're too nice. So he tries to knock the sandwich. He knocks the sandwich out of his boss's hand.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's like, well, you gonna pick that up? He's like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. And he picks it up. He's like, you know, and they're trying to establish this. But the thing is he's nice a little bit at first, and then he gets really mean.
Well, he gets angry.
Well, he gets angry, but when he gets the power of God, he's so mean.
Yeah, he kind of, he really is.
I would be like, I have the power of God, but no consequence. Like, I could just make things go away. Great. I'd be the worst.
Yes, well, I think that's kind of the point of this movie. So he, he's all excited. We also meet a scene before here. We meet his girlfriend.
Do we meet her there?
No, it was the scene before where we meet his girlfriend.
Yeah, because he's throwing a fit. Because he's never given a chance, right?
Yeah, he's throwing a fit because he's got to do photo albums.
Which is hilarious to me because they're not even married and she's trying to do photo albums.
Yeah.
What if they break up? What is the point?
Yeah.
I'm like, she has like 3 books of like she wants to fill with photo albums and they've only been together 5 years. And I'm just like, you have that many photos to put in these books? You don't even have kids?
Well, remember, this was back before everyone had a camera on their cell phone.
Cell phone. But it's just like, you've been together 5 years, no kids, all the pictures are going to look the same.
Yeah.
This is us on the date. This is us going out. This is us at home. This is us. It's just like, okay. This is us with our friends. This is our family.
So, he's complaining.
I'm not going to knock it if you are a single/dating somebody person and you made a photo album. That's perfectly valid. It just was a funny way to introduce her character.
Yeah. So he's excited. He tells her that, hey, I've got this live thing. I'm going to be going live, watch me. And, so they do the live feed. But
I'm getting ready for it.
Yeah, before they go to Bruce, they have the announcement that, the former, lead anchor is retiring and that Evan will be taking over. And
why? Why would you not tell everybody already? It's made me mad. I was like, why would you do this? This is not how this would have been done, right?
I don't think so. I want to say no.
These 2 guys are vying for this job and you're not going to tell the other guy before he goes on live TV?
Yeah.
Like, what Bruce does on live TV is like outlandishly stupid.
Yeah, he has a full-on meltdown.
He has a full-on meltdown on live TV, and I'm not sure why they didn't just turn it off, but they didn't.
Yeah.
And he loses his job and all of that because Evan got the job and whatever.
Well, not only did Evan get the job, but Evan
brought him in. He teased him.
Well, he basically all of the stuff that he put in that fluff piece with the cookie, he pulled a bunch of that stuff out and used it and basically like plagiarized him.
I thought he was teasing him with that. I didn't realize it was a plagiarizing.
Yeah, it was straight up plagiarizing to rub just a little bit of salt in that wound.
It's not plagiarizing because it's not copyright. Anyway.
Yeah,
it's rude. Okay, yeah, that was pretty rude. I feel like what happens to Evan later on is way more cruel than what he did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was trying to get even with him or just make, be a jerk.
Yeah. But yeah, he did go a little too far.
To me, I was just thinking about how, like, I felt really bad for this character later on.
Yeah.
I don't even know about anything about Evan Baxter. He could have been a complete jerk the whole time, and he probably was. But I guess I'm just not very vengeful.
Yeah.
Which is funny, because I've had vengeful thoughts.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I can be vindictive.
Yeah.
And you have, you play out scenarios in your brain, like in the shower. Oh, I should have done this. Oh, I could do this. And totally, especially when we do our live action role play stuff, like, oh, I'm going to get back at that person. Do I ever get back at the person? No.
No, because you don't have the power of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
We cut to the next scene, which is,
he's fired.
He's fired, and he's so angry.
He has like the worst day of his life.
Yeah, and he's just ranting.
He's cursing God.
Yeah.
He gets okay, let's just summarize this real fast because we got,
Yeah.
He gets fired. He goes outside. He yells at some guys being rude to a homeless man. He says the wrong thing. They beat him up rather lightly, honestly.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Also, if they beat him up in broad daylight near a news station, I feel like that was pretty risky. And then they keyed his car, and then he's like all mad. He drives home. He doesn't break his car yet. Gets in a fight with his girlfriend, where he basically is like, he's blaming God, and she's like, why are you, yeah, it's God's fault, is it? She keeps like, because she's very religious, apparently.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of an interesting thing. Because she kind of always has this thing that God's not, like, she's like, no, like, Bruce is, I keep trying to call him Evan. That's the wrong movie, Michelle. There is one, but that's not the one. So she's trying to, like, calm him down and kind of rationalize through him here. Yep. And he is not having it. He's so angry. He's just he's blaming it all on God. It's all God's fault. God is a jerk. He is a child in a place. He is
a cruel child with a magnifying glass.
Yeah, like he is. And eventually he makes a mistake of making it sound like his life is nothing when she takes it as, well, so do I not mean anything? Am I too ordinary?
Yeah.
And I mean, high emotional state spreads, and she appears very empathic and open and high empathy. So, like, it was very kind of, and he was like, oh, you could guilt me now, thanks, and he storms off. And I feel really bad for her. Like, she was just trying to help. But she probably should just let him rant and say whatever he wanted at that moment, just because he needed to get it out.
Yeah.
It's venting. Safe venting, though. Don't let someone rant at you if it's belittling you. But,
yeah.
So he gets in his car, and he's still just so angry. So angry. And he takes his beads off. He has these prayer... Who gave him the prayer beads? She did.
Because one of her kids made them, yeah.
Because that's how prayer beads work, right?
Sure.
Are prayer beads...
Are
they? That's a rosary, right?
Yeah.
A prayer beads is an Asian religious thing.
Yep.
That's like a Buddhist thing, isn't it?
Look.
Okay, so they did it.
It's Hollywood.
Okay. I just thought about it. Like, my brain would just accept their existence, that they were important. But now I was like, oh, okay, yeah, prayer beads. That makes sense. Now I'm sitting here a day later going, huh.
Yeah,
Hollywood.
It's Hollywood.
How dare you not check your facts? What? You would always check your facts. I've caught you in a loophole. No,
yeah, we if we go over everything that they get wrong, sometimes we have to like give them a pass when they do a few things.
An hour and 40-minute episode of Constantine that we have to cut down.
Yeah. So he's ranting, raving.
And
he drops
he's praying. No, first he's praying. He's like, "Give me a sign," and we see like two different signs saying "stop."
Yeah.
And I think that's really interesting because is that God intended or was that just funny? I don't know.
Well, I think it was supposed to be both because I think
it was like, slow down. You need to chill out. You're gonna hurt yourself, dude.
Because one of the things that people, a lot of people like, God, help me, God, and
I need something right now that I can see, and they want it to be what they want.
Exactly.
Right? They have an answer to their problems. They just need God to give it to them.
Exactly.
So
there's a very old, if you were in the church at any point in time from like probably the 80s to now, You've heard this little story, joke, whatever, about the guy who's in a flood.
The joke.
And
I
he's
have
on
a
the
story
roof.
about this.
He's on the roof, and he's like, God, save me. And a guy comes by with a boat. And he's like, hey,
no.
let's get out of here. And he's like, no, I'm waiting for God to save me.
Yeah.
And then a guy comes by with a helicopter, same thing. And eventually the guy dies, and he goes to God all upset, like, why didn't you save me? He's like, what do you want from me? I sent you a helicopter and a boat.
I sent you a van, a boat, because I had.
Oh, yeah, because it went up. The water was
kept going up.
Yeah.
So one of my awkward nightmares from growing up was my inability to get along with people during Sunday school, especially Sunday school teachers.
Oh, no.
So my dad told me that story as a joke, right?
Yeah.
It's a joke. Well, they were using it as a Bible school lesson. So they told this whole thing, and they're just like, they're trying to do this really serious thing. And I start cracking up because this was a joke.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, my dad told me that joke. It's so funny. And she looked at me and went, what's funny about it? Somebody died. And I was just like, okay. I was like, I don't know, under 10.
Yeah.
I don't think I was very well liked.
No, well, I like you.
But I just was trying to belong, honestly. Let me vent about this for a while. Anyway, sorry. Just thinking about all those poor kids just being awkward out there, trying to live their life being awkward.
Yeah. Oh, I was awkward too. Don't.
So awkward.
He, at some point, he drops the prayer beads and whatever, he goes fishing for them, and he hits a light pole. Yeah. And, he gets out of the car and he just starts yelling at God at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Now, here's an interesting thing about that.
Okay, continue.
Oh, I was going to say, there's been a lot of, characters within the Bible that have done the exact thing.
I mean, haven't we all yelled at God at one point in
our life? We have, and
even if it's not like verbally out open, like in your brain, you've yelled at God. Like I've yelled at God.
I think we all have, and I think God.
I think last year was a lot of yelling at God for our family.
Yeah, I think there's. I think God definitely has a lot more patience
this year's a lot
with
of yelling
us.
At God.
Yeah, right.
What's going on?
God has a lot more patience
He's got a lot
with
of answering to do. No, I'm kidding.
Than we give him credit for.
That's true. Sorry if you couldn't hear that. I turned away to throw something in the trash, and I forgot the mic doesn't follow me.
Yeah. One of the big ones that I was studying is if you ever read the story of Job, which Job. Yeah, Job is one of those stories where a lot of people don't understand the exact. Don't understand what because it was written, the style it was written in was kind of unusual for that brand of literature.
I know. I've read Job. I'm pretty sure I skipped some of it in the middle when their friends and them are just saying the same things over and over and over.
Yeah. And there's a point that Job actually starts yelling at God.
Job.
Huh.
Do you think it is a real life story that happened to a real man, or do you think it is a fable, my brain? What did Jesus tell? Parable.
I honestly, I am leaning more towards that it was a sort of a mental exercise where they were trying to basically discuss something that would have been difficult to discuss any other way than trying to put it in the form of a narrative. I don't think it was Job was a real.
I don't either.
Person. He may have been a real person, but I don't think the whole story.
I don't think it really hurts either way.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you talk about Job.
So yeah, Job
and how does Job relate to Bruce Almighty?
Well, it's interesting because Job
Other than the
yells.
Angry part. Does Job yell at God?
Yes, he yells at God and he accuses God of being unjust.
Because I just remember Job kind of being pretty faithful the whole way through.
No, he breaks.
Does he actually break?
He straight up breaks. Breaking. Yeah, he straight up breaks.
I would too.
Well, he breaks after his friends because he's lost all of his property. Now he's lost his family, and his friends are awful. And he just finally breaks.
His wife's awful too. His wife's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, and
God has left us.
So he yells at God. Now, what in the story of Job, what God does is he actually, after Job has been yelling at him for a good paragraph, he God responds. And he says, all right, let me show you something. And he takes him on, the language kind of suggests that it's he takes him on a disembodied tour of the entirety of creation. So out into space to see the universe, down into the depths to see all of these fish. He's got like two massive creatures, the behemoth and the leviathan. And he shows him all this stuff, and he's like, all right, now, how would you run the world? And Job has no answer. In this story, a little bit different. God still, in the movie, God still responds. It gives him a page. Do you guys remember pagers?
Him. How do pagers work?
They were a thing. They sound like
magic.
Yeah, they were a thing when I was a kid, and I can't for the life of me imagine why they needed to exist and anything, because I never used them when I was young, and by the time I was old enough to like understand technology and stuff like that, they were pretty much gone. Like, I don't understand why they ever existed, but sure, here we go. So he sends them a page.
Doctors would use them.
Right.
I remember Uncle Randy having one.
Yeah, I think they actually
he still
use a form of it. So he basically sends them a page.
He pages him even when he breaks it. So that's when he decides to answer it.
He's basically, he calls the number. He's like, hey, come down to this address. So he goes down to this address, and it's this kind of white, the building's this white room. And this is the first time that we meet the character of God played by Morgan Freeman. Such good casting in this.
Oh, he's like so warm and comforting.
Yes.
And yet he feels like he has authority. You know? Like, he's so good.
It really is. He's
like, hello, have you lost interest in this movie? But I'm here now, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Are you tired of watching Jim Carrey's face go off the screen? Here, look at my face and hear my soothing voice.
Yes, it's very soothing.
Look, Jim Carrey, I do like... He actually is a very interesting person now, like some of his stuff and views. It's very interesting. Early Jim Carrey, though, scares me.
So we meet, and we see God, and he's in a janitorial outfit, and he's mopping the floor, which I thought was...
That's where Egypt probably had a problem.
Yeah. Which I thought was really, really cool, because one of the things that Jesus would talk a lot about the kingdom of God is that if you want to be great in the kingdom of God, you need to be a servant. Like a lot of Jesus's message about the kingdom of God was this upside down, because, the philosophy of the time is if you want to be great, you have to, puff up your chest, put on a bunch of gold and jewelry and fine things and strut around like you own the place. And Jesus was like, no, that's not how the kingdom of God works. It's those who are willing to get down and be servants. Those are the ones that are going to be exalted in the kingdom of God.
Is this our Pharisee call-out post?
Yeah, probably.
I'm going to call out the Pharisees.
Yep, all of the Pharisees.
And the Sadducees.
Yep. So he's,
calling you out, Pharisees and Sadducees. You know who you are. You're all dead, actually. You know who you are.
So
are you a Sadducee in your life? You need to reevaluate something.
Okay, I do have to say this. Apparently in college, the way my dad was able to remember the difference between Pharisee and Sadducee. Sadducees were more of like the liberal party of that day, and they were Jewish scholars, but they didn't believe in the resurrection. And so I guess his professor's like, so they were sad, you see.
Yeah,
that was...
Does that make the Pharisees, though?
They were the conservatives at that time. Yep. They were very much about the strict law of Moses.
Which one was the group that pushed for Jesus on the cross?
Both.
Oh, thanks. Nice cover. Nice save.
It was both. It was the Pharisees and Sadducees. They couldn't agree on anything else, but they hated Jesus.
Pharisees and the whole time.
Well, usually they actually use the term Sanhedrin, which is the
both?
The ruling, because the Sanhedrin was the ruling council, and there was Pharisees, which was one political party, and Sadducees, which was another political.
I'll try to turn our thing political, but you won't let me.
Yeah. Anywho, so the he sees Morgan Freeman playing God, but at this point he's a janitor, and he doesn't give him any mind. He makes some jokes and heads up there. And then he meets, then, you know, he gets to the 7th floor and, well, there's the same guy changing a light bulb. There's an interesting line here. After, you know, they change the light bulb, he's like, hey, is it on? And he, you know, like comes on, it's a big spotlight
Burns his
thing.
eyeballs.
Yeah, and he's like, it's bright. And God responds, it is for most people who spend their time in the dark trying to hide from me.
I thought he said they just spend their time looking up.
No, it is for most people who spend their time in the dark trying to hide from me.
Where did you get that?
I went through and then pulled a bunch of videos of famous moments between
why do I remember
Jim
that
Carrey and God. So, but I just thought that was a neat kind of line. So hijinks ensue because once he reveals that he's God, of course he doesn't believe. There's this, actually I thought the filing cabinet scene was kind of funny.
That was actually still pretty funny.
Yeah.
Even if his face was, look, he distorts his face and it makes me nervous. I just get sweaty. I'm like, what's happening? Oh, it's just face. It's normal.
And, eventually, you know, he gets his attention and is like, all right, okay, you don't think I'm running things correctly. Fine. How about you try it for a bit?
He's like, okay, whatever.
And he's like, when you leave here, you will have all of my powers. And, of course, he doesn't believe him. He runs out and... I
mean, it's kind of crazy.
It is, to be fair.
Which I'm not. Anyway, continue.
The part that was kind of funny is so eventually he makes his way into a diner.
Oh, he keeps doing things and little miracles, not miracles, but little magic tricks are happening, right?
Yeah.
What happened?
And he's freaking out and like he gets this bowl of soup and he's just like, what's the first thing that I want to do when I have a bowl of soup? I know. Part the Red... It was tomato soup.
This was funny.
It was tomato soup, so he's parting the Red Sea.
Yeah, he's parting the Red Sea.
Get
and
it?
He's like...
Get it?
The music plays from the 10 Commandments.
Like the Charleston Heston.
It's pretty fun scene. It's just a fun scene.
But
him learning about his powers is all pretty fun.
Yeah. And so, God shows up and is like, all right, so here's the deal. There are 2 rules. 1, you can't tell anybody you're God, because that would cause all kinds of issues, which it would.
Yeah.
And 2, you can't mess with free will, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
And you said you had some stuff about this.
Don't put me on the spotlight. Because I didn't actually I love free will. Okay, but not because I know it sounds. I love free will. The end. We're out. That's all I have to say. Is I like it. I think it's pretty neat. I feel like we don't understand, we don't grasp the power and greatness of this gift we've been given by God.
Mm-hmm.
Like the creatures of this earth, other creatures do not have free will.
No.
Not to the extent that we have it.
Yeah.
They are continuously bound forever to their instincts, to their primal being, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's why you can't...
Why you can't teach a dolphin to talk. You know, no matter how smart a dolphin is never going to be able to do and understand the concepts to the level we do. And the choices we make are spiritually bound in free will, correct? Best I can say it.
Yeah, or another example, you are never going to teach that 300-pound tiger to love you and not to see you as possible meat.
I mean, I think you can trick animals into thinking you're an animal like them.
Yeah.
But in the end, when it comes down to their survival or yours,
yep,
or triggering that part of their brain that says, oh, you're food, that is much more powerful than, oh, you're my
pride mate
or brother or whatever. I also think goes down to like why I don't think we'll ever get a true sentient AI, because I think our free will is tied to sentient.
Yeah. To
being a aspect. Our soul, our spirit is tied to free will. So when God is telling Bruce that he cannot affect free will,
mm-hmm.
which I think is interesting, he says, don't, what did he say?
You can't mess with free will.
You can't mess with free will. I took that as, don't mess with free will. I didn't think he just didn't have the power. I just thought he was told not to, and it was more like, it's like a Garden of Eden kind of rule. Like, you could do it, but you're going to get consequences.
I think...
That's how I originally thought it was going to be implemented.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, he's giving him the power, but he put guidelines in himself. Like, it's only covering buffalo.
Yeah. Yep.
And also, like, he can't affect free will. Because God could totally affect free will if he chose to.
Yeah, he chooses not to.
I think that's the idea, is to say, well, you're going to follow the same rules I follow.
Yep.
And I don't take over somebody and tell them what, like, I don't change they're going to do what they are going to do via their own choice. You choose to love me or you don't. You choose to cheat on your spouse or you don't. You choose, these are choices we make that set us apart from the animals of the earth.
But the thing that comes with free will is the responsibility of the consequences that free will, regardless of what choice you make, you have consequences. Sometimes, if you do, sometimes it's good consequences, sometimes it's bad consequences. But because we have free will, we are responsible for the decisions we make.
That's why we're responsible for the planet.
Yep.
We're responsible for each other to a point. Yep. We're responsible for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we have children, we're responsible for those children. And teach them how to develop and be morally sound and safe and taking care of your children. That is your responsibility because you made the conscious free will choice to create those children and bring them into the world. Thus, they are now your responsibility. You do not own them.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing. Having the responsibility for because the consequence of making children is you get children. Okay? That's a good thing. Okay? Children are good. I guess I'll just put this in here. Children are your responsibility because you brought them into this world. And they are also God's creation.
Yes.
So.
Now, you were talking about, we have, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
Well,
I had another thing, but I can't remember right now. It got eaten by my brain.
Okay. You were talking about, we have the choice, to love God or not love God or love each other. There's a line in the movie. So further on down the movie, Bruce messes up big. Okay, but before we get there, I want to talk about one more thing. Okay.
So, if you got the powers of God, but were still the flawed human being that you are, what would you do with it? We see exactly what
flawed human being.
A flawed human being, a well-off, angry white man would do with it.
A someone with a lot of
pent up
anger and
I know your pain, just because more people in the world are in more pain than you does not invalidate
yes
your pain. You're allowed to feel your pain. You're allowed to be sad. You're allowed to be upset. You're allowed to have these things. Your feelings are valid. But I'm going to say this. I do not think Bruce Almighty's feelings were that valid. He was so angry. And he was so mad about all these things. And I was just looking at this man like, can you just chill out?
Well, but that's the thing about anger is a lot of times it's not rational.
I know. And he learns his lesson and all that stuff. But I guess because I'm very emotional right now. We're recording during some very stressful times in our nation.
Yep.
Wherever you stand on this, it's just that I have a lot of empathy and emotions for people, and I'm just very I'm feeling all this, and then just watching this guy from 2003 be angry at God because he didn't get a promotion. And I was just like, but dude, you're doing fine. Calm down.
Yeah.
And I get it. And it is valid. It truly is valid to be as upset as he was. I guess if he's just such an over-the-top actor, it bugged me.
Well, yeah.
I think it's just the way it's presented I'm like, this isn't funny. This isn't making me care about him. It's just sad.
Yeah.
He's just a sad man.
But yeah, he does do exactly what any of us, because
I just forgot that he does that thing with the skirt, and it made me mad.
That was something.
I was like, I just want to hit him now.
That did not. That
did not age well.
Woofta. The thing that he does what any of us would probably do with that kind of power. He settles some scores.
Yeah.
He doesn't go out. It's like,
the
good.
monkey! No, it made me remember. I took it from my memory.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna solve.
Back.
I'm gonna solve all the problems of the world.
Monkey.
I'm gonna solve all the problems of the world. Nah, I'm gonna get back to everyone who was mean to me.
Also, that was super racist.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But that's
the gangsters. The movie did not age well with some of his vengeance or the abusing his power, like making a girl's skirt fly up.
Well, he just used it all on self-serving things.
Yes, but
he uses it to get his job back.
It just made him so gross. I'm like, wow.
He uses it to embarrass his rival.
He gets his job back because he frames this other movie crew for marijuana. That was funny though. He's like, I've never seen the marijuana thing, but that marijuana in my life. The news crew says, and they pan to the van, and the van is just full of packets of marijuana
and like growing marijuana plants.
They're not even plants; they were like trees. They didn't even look like the plant.
Yeah.
And I was like, I would be like, well, I honestly, if I was a police officer, be going, I think they were set up.
Yeah,
because this is ridiculous.
Nobody
Somebody
cares.
ran up here when they weren't looking and just filled their van with marijuana. Okay,
yeah nobody carries that much marijuana. Nobody.
Not like that. And then so he uses that to get his job back as a reporter, and then uses his powers to manipulate what's happening during the reports he set on his things to make tragedies or big news happen. Like he finds a body. I'm like, was that guy really there already? Did he put a body there?
Well, Jimmy Hoffa, he was, there's a whole thing about Jimmy Hoffa. Okay. They never found his body.
He yoinks the moon closer to seduce his girlfriend.
Yep, and that causes tidal waves.
It causes tidal waves in, like, Japan or something. And I was like, ooh, that didn't age well, did it?
Yeah, right.
That did not age well.
That was
they're still saving people. I'm like, how many people did they not save? It doesn't say that because this is a comedy. Yeah. And then when he pulls the moon closer, I went, oh no, that's messing with the werewolves. Those poor werewolves are so thrown off. And then
he makes that like a meteor.
Yeah, meteor strike. Out, like power grids all over the city.
Yeah. And
he does, and then he decides that he wants Evan's job.
Yeah.
And then and there's a way drawn out romantic scene with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
That is very PG-13.
Yeah.
But also that was actually pretty funny when they were focusing on her and not him. That was really funny. When he was on screen, it was not funny because his face was doing things. And I'm going to keep talking about Jim Carrey's face until you all realize how terrifying he is.
So at a certain point, like, he starts hearing voices, and he's like, what's going on? And, God says, those are prayers.
About the voices.
Those are prayers. You need to start,
we didn't talk about Evan yet.
Dealing with those.
He literally destroys Evan on live TV. He makes him just do terrible things. It's so cringy. It is so cringe. It's cruel. I was, by the end of it, I was feeling bad for him. Like, a little bit of messing up, I would have been, like, I was like, okay, kind of funny. But then it was just mean.
It goes on. Here's the thing. I was
like, this poor man, his body, like, he has no control over himself.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. So, like, he says, free will. Can't mess with free will. But he's making him say all of this, like,
I think they didn't care because it wasn't making him feel a certain way. Or he wasn't making those choices.
Yeah, I guess.
Or making him make those choices.
Sure.
He's like, you want to do this. No, his body. He literally the wrong words were just coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's no answer. It's a plot hole.
Yeah. It was.
It's definitely a plot.
I remembered this scene because when I first saw this, I was a junior in high school.
Was it funny then?
I laughed so hard.
It's not
and then
now.
I watched it now, and I'm like,
it
we
did not
skip
age
this?
well. We did skip it.
No,
we didn't. No, I left.
We skipped. We
I went and did something.
Yeah, we ended up skipping. The two scenes we skipped were his full-on meltdown at Niagara
handle
Falls.
It. I couldn't. The secondhand embarrassment I had for everything going on not even for him.
Yeah, just for everyone around
for
him.
everybody involved, for that poor old lady,
Yeah.
for the people he brought in, for his girlfriend, for the people at the studio. Like, I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Calm down, Bruce. You sound really dumb.
And then
calm down.
The other part we skipped was, so after he basically destroys Evan's life, he gets the anchor job and he's going to celebrate with his girlfriend. And she thinks that he's going to propose.
It's been 5 years. She's been wanting to marry him.
Yeah. And
her sister...
sister gets
it's like he's, first she was like, he's, never gonna propose, you should just move on, all this stuff.
And now she's like,
wait, hold on, he's doing all these great things for you.
Yeah, he's gonna propose.
He's totally proposing.
Gets her hopes up, and he the scene is we had to skip because it was just so hard to watch. Like, he gets down
this is why
on
I watch
her
comedies. This is it right here, honey.
Huh?
You're always like, Michelle, let's watch a comedy, and I'm like, okay, no, I don't want to watch a comedy because this is the comedies I grew up with.
Yeah. The 90s,
super
2000s.
Awkward humor.
Yeah.
This is why I'm not a big Office fan.
Yep.
This is why I'm not a bit... I tried to watch Parks and Rec, and yes, they have super funny scenes in them, but I have the worst secondhand embarrassment ever. I feel so much about people when I see them on screen acting, and there's scenes that are just so embarrassing. I'm just like, I can't witness it. I have to leave.
Yeah.
I have movies when this happens. I can't leave when I'm in a movie theater. I'm trapped.
Yep.
I'm like, well, I guess I will just die. Time to die.
Yeah, but he gets down and he looks her in the eye, gets down on like a knee, and she thinks, he's proposing, and he's like, I got the anchor job.
No, why did he get down on a knee?
I don't know.
No, I keep
was
burping, I'm sorry.
It was a dumb scene. And then he has another
hit him.
Yeah, and all the prayers hit him, and he has another freak out in this restaurant. And so now he's got to figure out a way of dealing with the prayers. Now this scene was actually pretty funny.
This is actually funny.
So he's like, all right.
It's definitely of its era.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I need some way of organizing all these prayers. Give me files. And the whole place is full of filing cabinet. And he's like, I know, Post-it notes.
This is actually held up pretty well.
Yeah, that was actually pretty funny.
And then just the whole apartment gets covered in Post-it notes. His girlfriend sleeping gets covered in Post-it notes.
Yeah, she's a heavy sleeper, apparently.
So many Post-it notes. I would be a heavy sleeper if I was dating Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Anyway. I'm sleeping now. Don't touch me. Don't hit it. Gotta go sleep.
And then he's like, I know, a computer. And this
puts him in the email. And this is emails. Actually, I think, remember from the trailers. This was really cute.
So he organizes them all in the emails, and he's like,
starts replying.
Yep.
And he does it at super speed, and he doesn't even make a dent.
Not even a dent. Not a
dent. And I'm just
technically, he doesn't even make a dent. He actually loses ground.
How much patience does God have for all of our prayers?
Well, to be fair,
I don't think it's like that for God.
Yeah, to be fair, in the movie, God gave him his omnipotence, which is he's all powerful, but not his omnipresence or his omniscience.
That's true. But still, God, you have so much patience for humanity.
Yes. And also,
he really does.
Yeah, he really does.
Patience that God has to have to create us humans and then live with us when we make our stupid decisions over and over again.
It's like your kids,
Yeah, but these kids never grow up.
It's like that time that Rowan got into your paints and just painted everything.
Oh, he painted my tablet, he painted my desk, my keyboard, my screen. I was able to save everything.
Yeah.
But I remember just crying as I cleaned this up. He painted the wall that now has a hole in it.
But yeah, you even after all of that, you have to still look at your child and be like, I love you.
I mean, I still loved him, but man, I wasn't even mad. I was just like, I thought I'd lost hundreds and hundreds of dollars of equipment, okay?
Yeah.
See, God can replace that when we mess his stuff up. Another planet, though, I don't think he's going to replace it the way we want him to, everybody, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, finally he gets fed up, and he's just like, you know what? Select all, reply yes to all.
Yep, he set up a little thing to just reply yes to everything.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? I'm going to give everybody whatever they ask for.
This works out.
Yeah, this works out swimmingly. And so, next scene, he's at this party.
Why don't more sports teams end in draws? Like ties?
I don't know. Well, no, it's the Buffalo. It's only the Buffalo area, so it would be the Buffalo team that wins.
Sense.
So he next scene is him at this party.
Oh, this party.
And he's acting a fool.
Trying to get his girlfriend to go.
Yep. And the co-anchor, like,
she's apparently hot. I didn't think she was that attractive, but I guess.
And she comes on to him, and it's like that perfect, like, it's that like,
yeah,
only in movies timing where she comes in at the exact.
Like, what doesn't that won't hurt her? Like, she's just like, I'm a bad girl, And
like,
I'm just
she's
okay.
like, she's a straight home wrecker.
She's like, I'm here to destroy lives.
Yeah.
I feel like he should have had the control to stop that.
He definitely should.
And he did. So, like, the fault is on her in this case, too.
Yep.
Because she knew going in.
Yeah.
But in the end, he still made the choice to kiss this woman. Or kiss back this woman.
No, I think she just sort of, like, laid into him.
Yeah, but he was kissing back. Wasn't he?
No, I think it was. I don't think any part of that was consensual.
I don't remember because I was about ready to just. My soul was trying to leave my body because this movie was making me so anxious.
Yeah. Yeah, can you imagine flipping the genders on that scene?
Then it would, comedies have done it.
Yeah.
So
obviously she walks in.
Comedic to some people.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
She walks in, and she gets upset, and
the girlfriend walks in.
Yeah, the girlfriend walks in, and
Jennifer Aniston.
She basically is like, she's done with
Grace.
him.
Her name's Grace.
Yeah,
because she's his saving grace.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't get that?
Yes,
she's
but I
keeps
forgot
grounding
it.
him.
Yes.
So he's like trying to explain, get her back, and she leaves him for a bit, and he actually shows up later. He sends all these signs that are like, please forgive Bruce. Hey, forgive Bruce. Forgive Bruce. Well, he's sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah.
You went over the next scene I was going to talk about.
The free will scene?
Yeah, because
that happens after when she gets to work.
No. There's one because he goes back into the party and the sprinklers go off because.
Oh yeah, because he needs a cold shower after all that.
I guess. And God shows up and he asks a very interesting. Is God getting
wet in that scene?
Nope.
That's what I thought.
He asks a very a question that I thought was pretty poignant. Is he looks at God? He's like, "How do you make someone love you without affecting free will?" And he's like saying that to God, and this is kind of shows Morgan Freeman's acting chops. He just gives him that look like, yeah, tell me how rough that must be to have someone that you love so very much, but they won't,
Yeah.
And it's just
have a movie of Morgan Freeman as God.
I mean,
maybe a short. Maybe might be a little long.
It's just so interesting because, I mean, you have to understand that God, he loved us so much that he was willing to take on human form, to live in time, to experience the day-to-day grind that all of us people go through. And at the end of it all, to undergo the most cruel form of capital punishment devised by humans at that time, all so that he could bridge the gap and open up a way for humanity and him to be together. That's how much he loves us.
Yeah.
But he still gives us free will, and he still is saying he's reaching the hand out, but we've got to be the ones to take it.
Yeah.
That's what salvation is.
So he does those little signs for her to see on her way to work.
Yep.
Like the radio changes. She sees an ad for a weird song. She goes to diner when she does that.
She also sees like
carved in the trees.
Yep.
All the trees. She sees clouds kissing. That one was a little weird.
A little bit.
The ducks flying south
in the heart shape.
They also say forgive him or
Yeah,
I love you
yeah,
or something. Like, just like nightmare fuel stuff. Like, I need to go home. I'm sick. I am hallucinating. It's time to go, girl. Like, that's what I'd be like. And then he shows up, and it's this cute little scene where he's around kids, and they're all throwing balls at him, and he's like, that's enough, I've seen it. And he comes over, and I sit there and look at John Mark and go, they would have never let him in nowadays.
Nope.
There's no way he could walk into a school
This is
like
definitely
that.
early 2000s.
Definitely could not walk into a school like that. I would be mad if my school let some strange man with a strange face come into it. Where my children were. You let Jim Carrey in here?
Right.
Sorry. I'm gonna keep making fun of him, but he's a really okay dude. He really is. Like, I've been following him. Like, I follow him on Twitter. He's okay. He really is.
It's really interesting that when he shows up, he's almost
so normal. He's so nice looking. Like,
Yep.
he's just like, this is his, I've realized how bad I've messed up. Not just with you, but with this whole thing and people.
Yep.
It's his coming to realization that he has this power and he's using it extremely inappropriately.
Well, I don't think he really understands until sort of the end of this scene, because he definitely is coming with the expectation that it'll all work out.
Get her
And
back here. Yeah.
when it doesn't, like, he tries to affect her free will, and he, like, you actually see, he can't.
He cannot.
Like, God has given him this power, but he has definitely put limiters on it, because, God, it may seem irresponsible to give this kind of power to a flawed human, but, that's probably why there are some limits. Because, it's, I mean, think about it. Like, if you had that kind of power, like, what would you do?
My children would be so obedient.
Yes, they would.
But they would never learn anything.
Right. That's the thing.
I could make, like the dog. Remember the dog?
Yep. He
forced that dog to learn to use the toilet.
Yeah.
I think that's a good analogy. Like, the whole time, he never took the time to train the dog to go outside.
Nope, he
never took the time to build that relationship with the dog for trust and understanding and boundaries.
Yeah.
He just said, nah, I have power now. You know how to do all these things. And for some reason, that made the dog slowly progress into reading the newspaper for a gag, obviously. Yeah. But it's just kind of funny. I remember that scene from the trailer, too. All the funny stuff was in the trailer, guys. Just watch the trailer. Anyway. But you're right. That's literally what happened.
The dog.
Here. The dog is him abusing his power and making the dog do things that he wants the dog to do. But there was no relationship between him and the dog, which represents the whole movie, actually, when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because everything changes when he takes time to show not just time with the dog, but he began to connect with the people around him. Yep. He didn't use miracles or his powers to change their lives dramatically, but the world had suffered greatly because of that area.
Yep, because he said yes to everyone, so everyone that wanted
everyone won the lottery, so everyone got $17.
Yep. And,
let's see.
Oh yeah, and this part was a little too close to home.
There's like riots and looting happening because a sports team won. People were mad about the lottery. The world was ending because of the strange things with the meteor and the moon. Yep. Like, everybody was it was this perfect storm, and then there's these people rioting, and this is rioting, not protesting. This was just pure riots. Yep. And I was like, oof. Yeah, oof. Oof. I didn't age well. And he is like, what have I done? What have I wrought? Yeah. What has these selfish choices I've made have
You all right there?
I'm broken. These selfish acts I have done has brought great strife to my home.
Well, and all he did was gave everybody what they wanted.
And he talks to God about this.
And he says, like, I just gave them everything they wanted. And God's response was,
nobody knows what they really want.
Yeah. Do anybody really know? Like, we say, like, God, I want $1 million. I want this. I want that. But do we understand what the long-term ramifications that is going to have? Our perception of our world is very limited. Whatever you can see and you can experience, that's pretty much what you know for the most part. But with God, he knows, he can see time stretched out. We live in this little tiny area of time, which we call the present. And so when we ask for these things and then we get mad at God, well, why didn't you give me this? Why didn't you give me that? That's why I hated, I can't believe it's still going on, but the prosperity theology is...
Oh yeah, my dad totally bought into that for a while.
It's idolatry.
I think he still has.
It's heresy.
My dad's kind of crazy.
I
love you, Dad, if you ever listen to this, which I doubt.
It's just, it's wrong. It's the heresy of our age. The greatest heresy of our age is God wants you to live the good life. God wants you to live a good life, but a good life doesn't necessarily mean, having the nicest things, having the best cars, and in a lot of ways, sometimes those things can distract us from having a good life.
Yeah. No,
so anyways, that's my rant over.
It's a very good... This movie has... the faith stuff in this movie is actually pretty good. It's very profound and thoughtful and grounded in a lot of really good stuff.
But they had to have they had to have the early 2000s comedy, okay? They had to have the early 2000s comedy.
I don't think comedy has changed. I haven't seen a modern comedy in a while, though.
Yeah, because most of it's...
Skits are okay. Some skits.
So, kind of the way that he comes to this realization that, he can't just force things to happen like this is, he made, back at the beginning of the movie, he made an offhand comment. It was like, oh yeah, I'll take a rain check on helping you mop that floor. 7 days at 7, and when it's 7 days later at 7 o'clock, he's back at the same building. And, God's
miracle-y.
Yeah. God's like, well, you're right on time. Here's your mop. And the two of them, him and God, mop an entire floor of this building. And I don't know, you don't see them, it doesn't linger on it. Just sort of they start and then they're done because, the movie's got to go. But it's just such an interesting scene of this man working. Well, really, it's a profound scene of God working alongside this man to show him that...
Yeah, no, he's showing the importance of helping people, but I think what it was a lesson of is, people can do a lot themselves if they just have someone supporting them.
Yeah.
And that's not saying that God does not do crazy miracles nowadays.
Oh, yeah,
We see miracles all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's saying that a lot of things when people want a miracle are things they can do if they just asked for help or had somebody with them or, found the resources they needed, come across the right article, the right lesson, the right person. And he's just saying, you can be the miracle, Bruce. Just be there for people.
And keep in mind that also, sometimes there's a very interesting song. I can't remember the line exactly how it goes. A lot of us prays God, help this world. God, fix these problems. God, why aren't you, what are you going to do to fix this? And a lot of times God's like, well, I made you.
Yeah.
Go and...
and I think this is really important.
Yeah.
To think about that God made you. And if you are in a position in your life, depending on your demographic, your privileges, the things you're allowed to do that you can do easier than other people because of whatever you have, whatever resources, situation you're in. You should be using those circumstances to help others.
Because
I have donated to places and groups because I know that I cannot always physically go and do the things I want to do. So instead I have, now we're not super financially sound, but we have enough that I can contribute where I feel is necessary. You can speak with, money can speak.
Yeah. But it's also sometimes. It's also
being there for something. We can be there physically. We can be a phone call away. I mean, my job right now as a case manager for mental health kiddos that need a little more assistance in their life, sometimes my job is just to listen.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just sit and I hear their woes. I hear their heartbreak, and I am there, and there's a comfort knowing somebody's listening and they're not always telling them what they have to do to fix everything. That is a part of my job too, to be give insight and feedback and correction, but sometimes that's not what they need, and sometimes the best insight they can they find it themselves if they can just have somebody that will listen and not tell them what to do all the time. Because kids like in that get told what to do all the time.
Yeah.
Giving someone a little independence with security underneath can go so far.
Yeah.
Like you see Bruce helping a man with a broken down car. I was like, did he not have his magic wuju powers to fix the car? He probably did. He still had his powers, right?
Yes.
Right then. But instead he got out and was sympathetic and understanding and helped the man move his car and get help.
Yep.
Now, I still think I would have rather have God fix my car magically because fixing a car is so expensive.
Yeah.
But this isn't the time. Maybe it wasn't that bad. Anyway.
Oh, no, it was still awful.
It's still awful.
Yeah.
Anyway, this guy probably he had money. He's fine. We're just gonna pretend that it wasn't a big deal. And like he did some other things, like he supported the homeless man.
That had the signs, yeah.
With the funny signs. He had funny signs. He had armor gotten out of here. Anyway. What else did he do? Oh, he got Evan his job back.
Yeah.
He went to Evan and he apologized for being he used the word prick.
Yeah.
Being
a jerk, yeah.
He was like, it was a sincere, wonderful apology.
Yeah.
And then he was like, you can have this job. And I don't know what he did to get this man his job back. I don't know if he miracled it back to him because of the mess up he did on.
I think he might have went to bat for him and hey, I am turning this down. I want you to give it to this.
Give him another chance.
Give him another chance. I'll do the fluff pieces.
Yeah, and I think he realized he liked the fluff pieces.
Yeah.
Because he got to be more himself. And then he does all these nice things. He corrects as many wrongs as he can, but the one he can't seem to figure out what to do is how to reach Grace.
Yeah.
And has he lost her forever? And he realizes that God talks to him, right? And he makes his beautiful prayer to God, doesn't he? Yeah.
Well, first he finds out that Grace prays for him every night.
Every night. There's just tons of emails in his little email thing.
And
of her praying to him.
And he
praying to him.
Well,
kinda. Praying for him that ended up to him. Man, that's kind of weird. Anyway.
But the one that he like when he's looking at that, he sees one that's incoming and he listens in on it.
A fresh prayer right off the presses.
And he realizes just the hurt that he's caused because she's praying for God to take the hurt away.
She still loves him, but she just is tired of hurting because of how the pain he's caused her. I mean, he caused her pain, not just that pain, but early on when he got in that fight with her, he hurt her pretty bad.
Yep. And he
and then the marriage fake out.
Yep.
This poor woman.
And I remember
she's so cute. Why you do this? Sorry.
And he that breaks him.
You're gonna hear tacking because I typed something.
That breaks him.
Yeah.
But he kneels down in the middle of the street and he's like,
oh yeah, this part.
I'm done. I don't want to be God anymore. I want to follow what you want me to do. I surrender. And I think that what I remember is one of the youth pastors I served under, Matt, he used this clip in one of his lessons.
Yeah.
Because I mean, for so many of us, that's what we try to be. We want to be gods of our own lives. We want to decide right and wrong. We want to, cause that word to be a servant or to submit or any of that. Oh, it just rubs our human brains the wrong way, doesn't it? The word submit, you hear that, and doesn't that just raise your cockles? Just
No.
Well, it does me. But I mean that's.
No, you're gonna have to just.
That's what. That's what we're called to do is to submit, to freely submit to God's will, to follow His what He defines for us as right and wrong.
Well, we found a small Bible study on Bruce Almighty we could do about. It splits off into small groups and everything.
That's crazy.
It's for youth ministry.
Yeah,
I bet this is his thing. I bet he stole it.
Maybe he might have. Like, hey, look, as someone who served as a youth director for a while, thievery it's not thievery, it's efficientness.
You watch certain clips and then you discuss it. And then there's a wrap up written by Jonathan Mackie. McKee?
Huh.
McKee. He sounds familiar.
Yep. Anyways, that scene right there was for me really poignant, I thought.
Oh, here's his prayer.
Okay.
So God says, Grace, you want her back? He says, no, I want her happy, no matter what that means. I want her to find someone who will treat her with all the love she deserved from me. I want her to meet someone who will see her always as I do now, through your eyes. And God replied, now that's a prayer. That makes me want to cry. It's so sweet. Aww, it's cute. Why can't the movie be more cute?
I don't know. Like, it
has so many good things. I just wish Jim Carrey would control his face. That's not really the big problem. It's really just the awkward humor. I'm kidding about Jim Carrey's face, but it's... no, I'm not. It's pretty terrifying at sometimes. I was talking to Joe Mark how we could twist this into a horror movie with just changing the lighting on the movie a little bit, like making it dimmer, and then putting some horror sounds. There were some scenes you're like, that could be pretty spooky.
Yeah.
With the butt monkey.
But in the end, God, because the reason why he's talking to God in this particular scene is because he's dead, and God, I guess, brings him back, or the paramedics.
No, the paramedics. Remember, he goes,
oh yeah, he puts his fingers on his chest and goes, clear.
Yeah, because he's getting shocked back to life.
It's like, ow, that really hurt.
He got hit by a semi. He's really good. He looks pretty good for being hit by a semi.
Well, I'm also going to point this out, that a defibrillator is not how you treat a semi hit. A defibrillator does not restart your heart.
No, it's fine. I mean, he looked great anyway. It didn't look like he was hit by a truck.
It's fine. It's whatever.
Anyway, so he's brought back and she runs in and he's just like, I'm sorry, all this stuff. And she wants, because, she's highly emotional because the man she loves was hurt. So obviously she takes him back because he took advantage of her in this high emotional state. And,
yeah, this is actually, I'll be honest with you, like thinking back on the movie now, because
no, I get it. I think she should take him back anyway.
I actually disagree. I thought it would have been...
No, you're right. I actually...
a better ending.
Left him and found somebody better.
Yeah, a better ending if he got to live in his consequences. It can't be in the
90s in 2003 if she didn't take him back, honey.
Yeah, that's the thing, because it was
good. It would have been.
Yeah, it wouldn't have flown.
I mean, it works out. It's fine. It's got this movie's problematic, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
But I thought it would have been a much more powerful ending is if
they had been just friends or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe they took a longer break.
Yeah.
Like, I still need more time, but, I really appreciate you being honest and with me, and I will take that in consideration. And then that would have been the end of the scene, and it would have been a lot less funny. But oof, that got dark.
But it also, they have to have that feel good.
He donates blood.
Yeah.
He does all these nice...
I think they cut to, several years later where they're married.
Yeah. Well, maybe not years, but maybe a year.
Yeah, a year. Yeah, he's still in the boot, which that would make sense. And that's kind of where it ends.
Yeah, but it ends there. You see the homeless man turn to God, and it zooms in on his face as it
Oh
happens.
yeah.
And it's
by the way, yeah, the technology that they used, that face shifting.
The face shift thing was like, they should have gotten on that Terminator's budget there. They would have been a little bit better.
No. This was like the prototype of that, because you see it in other films and it looks way better.
Bad.
But this is like,
we have no money left for this scene.
This is like the prototype, so it's like...
It's like, it's God. Oh. It is a horror movie.
It's living in that uncanny valley, I can tell you what.
I want Jim Carrey in a horror movie now. Did he ever do a horror movie? But I want him to be just as over the top.
It's debatable. Like, some people will say that the cable guy was... He should have
been the other guy in Face Off. Could you have imagined?
Some people will say that the cable guy is a quasi-horror movie.
Cable guy is terrifying.
Because it's about a stalker, essentially.
Anyway.
Yes, anyway, so
final thoughts?
Final thought. This is a movie... Okay, so... Like, I think you summed it up.
You should watch it again.
Yeah, you summed it up really well. Like, the stuff that's dealing with faith is very good. It's on point, and it was surprising because, like I said, this is Hollywood. This was a big.
They were very careful with this.
It was a big name movie when it came out.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think that's why, because like part of it was like all of these conservative Christian groups were just so ready to like the outrage engine was revving up, and then just you heard all of like the air get let out of the tires. There was just
confused noises afterwards.
Yeah.
They're all ready to go, and then there's just confusion.
Yeah, there was just like
squawks.
And a few like, huh. And like I said, this movie had a sequel.
Apparently there's studies for it online you can do.
Yeah, this one and the sequel have been used. I've seen
Evan Almighty, and I remember liking it.
Yeah,
but I was kind of young.
Yeah, Evan Almighty and this one, I've had youth pastors that I've
comedy a little bit better.
I've had youth pastors that I've served under use this stuff. I haven't personally in any of my lessons, but who knows? I may in the future. I don't want to watch
this movie again.
I don't think that I do either.
I would like to watch the God scenes maybe again.
Yeah,
I could watch clips of that. I could watch Morgan Freeman. I would watch it again if Morgan Freeman asked me to.
Yes.
If Morgan Freeman descended down and
or if Morgan Freeman watched us.
Freeman
if Morgan Freeman watched the movie with us.
Ooh, he could tell us what Jim Carrey's really like.
Every interview that has done about people that have worked with Jim Carrey say that he's pretty much as goofy as he is in the movie, so.
As always, thank you for listening. We are Faith-Filled Nerds, a commentary and discussion podcast. We research, we break down, and we do our best to stay true to our faith. But as always, we are flawed human beings who make mistakes. Speaking of which, if you want to contact us and give us feedback, corrections, or further questions, you can reach us at faithfillednerds@gmail.com, facebook.com/faithfillednerds, and at Twitter, nerdsfaith.
Thank you to Steve Rue for the use of his jazz album for the opening and closing to our podcast. You can find Steve Rue at youtube.com/Steve Rue or wherever online music is sold.
I actually haven't checked that link if that's correct. Just look up Steve Rue on YouTube.
Yeah.
I should check that link. I just typed it in there. It should probably get you there. Thank you for supporting us. Just knowing you are there really encourages us to continue our work. Please review and rate us on whatever platform you listen on.
And now for our out-of-context Bible verse.
Genesis 10:31, which you know is going to be good with a random port of Genesis. Genesis 10:31. These are the sons of Shem by their clans and languages, and their territories and nations.
I'm John Mark.
And I'm Michelle.
And in the words of the immortal Wolfwood, go with God.